Our next speaker is Saadya Chevan. Saadya Chevan. Saadya is the Customer Success Advisor at Trezor, and he's going to talk to us about entering the wonderland of self-custody.
Thank you, Efrat. Hello, BTC Prague. So I see a lot of you out here in the audience today. I see a lot of you are already self-custodying your Bitcoin, and a lot of you are about to discover what a game changer self-custody, the way Satoshi Nakamoto intended, really is. Are you looking forward to it? Wonderful. So I think that a lot of you, I see some wondering eyes maybe. Some of you are maybe searching for a good self-custodian right now. And I have a tip for you. You can search around the audience, but what I think you want is really just to look into a mirror. And here's why. It's you who is the ideal self-custodian. All you need are a few guidelines for how to get started in self-custody if you're not there already. And if you are there, well, level up. So we're going to go down the rabbit hole a bit of self-custody today. We're going to go into this space that self-custody occupies both in Bitcoin and also in our monetary systems. So the thing that I think about is that really money these days, it's like Alice in Wonderland. The movie, the book, whatever, that's really where our money has gone. The point of self-custody is for us to have the opportunity to regain control of our money. Because ultimately, self-custody, once you learn how to live with it, once you learn how to live within the wonderland of money and self-custody, it's more navigable than custodial money. So let's talk about custodial money. I think most of us here have experienced it. Maybe one or two children out in the audience, so congratulations, you haven't. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. I'm guessing you were born after that. But let me tell you a personal story about just how bad self-custody, or non-custody of my money was for me. So I used to have a job where in order to earn extra money, I was able to send some money over to an account, an investment account. It was custodied by my employer. And basically, this was all, in my perspective, going well until I decided to leave that job. And at that point, I was told, okay, Saadya, we know that you're interested in taking this money out, so you need to email Douglas Graham. Douglas Graham was the investment advisor for this account. It's not his real name. But he basically was the guy who would always tell us, Saadya, everything's going well. Don't worry about these investment losses. It's all great. And you can have confidence. You'll be safe. Your money is perfectly custodied by your employer. So I said, okay, I'd like my money. And he said, well, once you leave, the day you leave, then we can start the process. It'll take a few weeks, and you can go. So I waited a few weeks, and the money didn't arrive. So I called him up, and I said, hey, Douglas, what's up? What's going on? How soon will I get my money? And he responded, look, Saadya, I unfortunately have no control over, well, my account, but I did pass your message along to the person with those credentials. And look, I can tell you about all the phone calls, emails that went on after that, but this is basically the world of custodial money. Every person, there's a process. There's a big process. So we want to simplify it. And this is why we value self-custody, because it gets you away from the Douglas Grahams of the world. It is the only proper way to HODL because your keys, your coins. You are getting full control of your Bitcoin through managing your keys. You no longer have to deal with third parties. You no longer have to deal with the Douglas Grahams of the world. So you lose all the phone calls, all the emails, all the stress. Look, I am with Trezor Expert, newly announced today. And I am also a Trezor user. I don't just work there. I use Trezor, and I'm a customer success advisor with Trezor Expert. I want to help people get into this wonderland of self-custody. I want to help people with their ability to self-custody Bitcoin. But personally, I use Trezor to manage my Bitcoin. It's easy, it's safe. I don't have to satisfy anyone when I use Trezor. I just plug in my Trezor, I sign my transaction, and log off. We'll be demonstrating that at the booth back there, Trezor Expert Lounge. I will be there this afternoon. Happy to show you the process. But basically, with Trezor, with self-custody, regardless of how you are self-custodying your Bitcoin, you can learn to live in this environment. You can learn to live in this wonderland of Bitcoin, of money. And that's very powerful. And I will also tell you, look, I used to be a software wallet user before Trezor. I'm just asking you today, please use self-custody for your Bitcoin, regardless of how you want to self-custody it. It is your choice. It is yourself, your choice, your keys, your coins. Now, another thing about self-custody is it is normal to feel overwhelmed, especially if this is your first or even maybe your fifth time in the Bitcoin space. So I want to simplify some of the vastness, complexity of Bitcoin you're seeing here today. That is my goal. And again, this is something that with Trezor Expert, with the many other onboarding services offered out here, with Bitcoin Prague, we are trying to offer you to really find your footing in this space of self-custody, within the wonderland of self-custody. Because this is giving you the power over your own digital wealth. We want to make what you need to do in the Bitcoin wonderland not just exciting, but accessible, manageable. So let's talk about some of the people you will meet here. So don't trust, verify. But you do want to find people who you can trust enough to verify what they are saying. Verification, very important. So in Wonderland, in the story of Alice in Wonderland, Alice meets a lot of different characters, all very interesting, all with their own agendas, but there's only some of them who give her the keys to her success. So as self-custodians, all of us here, we have to deal with opinions on self-custody that we might find, I like to say, maddening. There are people out there who want to make us angry. Let's talk about one of these characters, the Mad Hatter. This is someone who will constantly tell you, hey, you need to change your self-custody setup. He might tell you one day, hey, cut off all your hair. Hey, can you take all of your Bitcoin out of your wallet and, let me say it kind of controversially, give it to him. He'll take care of it for you. And look, there is no specific way to custody Bitcoin. Personally, I like safety, offline, cold storage, hardware wallets, again. But you can always choose a different method. You can always use software. I was using software before I switched to Trezor. So again, this is the Mad Hatter. He's mad. He's going to anger you. But we also have threats we need to take seriously. Phishing. So phishing is basically when people tell you a tall tale. They are crooks. They're doing you absolutely no favors because they're just trying to steal your money through deceit. You want to be aware of phishing. You want to take it seriously. So if someone tells you you need to get your Bitcoin out now, my advice is take a deep breath. And contact someone you trust, whose words you can and will verify. We're happy to do this with you at Trezor. If you have concerns, please contact us. We have our website, our support. You can do whatever, you can tell us what's going on, and we'll tell you, look, this isn't real. Don't give up your recovery seed. And we will tell you, people here are mad. There are criminals out there. And we'll help you to understand this. So let's talk about another character I like, the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat is someone who has been in Bitcoin for a while and wants to make it as great for as many users as possible. He's someone who will tell you the simple truth about the wonderland of self-custody, the wonderland of Bitcoin. Because this is a magical place. This is a place where, yeah, you might be a little mad to venture into it, but it allows you to hold your money independent of any bank or third party. He doesn't make it difficult for you to understand what he's saying. And as a result, once you understand that, you can trust the Cheshire Cat. So, look, we have found at Trezor that when you are getting started in Bitcoin, you need someone to tell you what you should care about. We need someone to tell you about the threats. We need someone to also tell you about how you can succeed here. And again, this is why we have started Trezor Expert. This is why we put out all the wonderful things we put out, Trezor Safe 5, Trezor Safe 3, the classic Trezor Multi, Model 1, everything. So get yourself a Trezor cat, sorry, Cheshire Cat, and get started. So I'd like to return to the question of how can you prepare to be a good self-custodian? And the answer is you're already doing it. You're here at BTC Prague, you're getting educated, and I know you all look like great self-custodians. It's true, because I can see you are all here, educating yourselves about Bitcoin. And look, at Trezor, we are very invested in Bitcoin education. We've created programs, again, like Trezor Expert. If you go outside to the lounge, Trezor Academy. We are supporting Bitcoin education in Africa because we want to onboard the next generation of Bitcoiners. And we want to enable you, the next generation of Bitcoiners, to level up and to thrive in the wonderland of self-custody. And through these opportunities, you will gain more experience, more confidence. You begin to grin above it all, just like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland, and you stop worrying about whatever Douglas Graham has to tell you. So I see a lot of grins out here already. I think that all of you here today, you are heroes of using self-custody. However you're doing it, I wish you all the best of success, and welcome to Wonderland. Thank you.